Was this a statement game in any way for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can define all that stuff the way you want, and it's cool. You know, we're going to just define it in terms of what we think we're capable of playing like. And I promise you all the different things in that game that we feel like we can do better. But the things that we did well, you know, we stand on and we build on. And things we can do better, we got to take with us out to Arizona and find a way to keep getting better.
That's what we expect out of each other. You know, our offense to be moving the ball down the field, no problem, and putting points on the board. But we need to just keep being consistent. That's the biggest aspect I got out of this game.
All right, welcome to Brother from Another. Reeta, I'm just going to get right here. Get right here. The official team of Brother from Another is the Detroit Lions. It was the Detroit Lions. It is
no.
the Detroit Lions.
Don't use bad sense over there.
Shall
now.
be.
Mm-mm.
It shall be. No, hold on. Let me tell you how relationships work.
Okay.
There's some bad times. There's some rough times you go through. There's some times it's not always pleasant. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for you. When you're struggling, when nobody else is there for you, when nobody else has your back, Detroit, I'm there for you. When you lose by 32 points in Baltimore, I'm going to be there for you. When Reeta Hubbard is starting fights with you on X, formerly known as Twitter, when Reeta Hubbard is calling you out your name, calling you names you ain't seen in the Bible, I'm going to be there for you. Okay? So no. I am not abandoning the Detroit Lions, but I gotta wonder about you. You start fights. I can't take you nowhere.
I absolutely do not start fights, but what I do is finish them. I am never the troublemaker, Holley, ever. I do not initiate anything.
Tell me how this fight started. Okay, first of all, Detroit, just for the record, Detroit, the official team of Brother from Another, came into the game riding high against Baltimore. Not only did I think that they would beat Baltimore, why
do y'all keep going to my timeline? I think it's the better question here.
Listen. And that's the one we can use. Okay, yeah, well, we use that one too. Okay. Go back home feeling like your colors. All right, so not only did I think that they would go and win, I thought it was a good opportunity to play some money on the Detroit Lions. So I put a little something on Detroit in this game, and when it got to 7-0, I'm not worried. 14, 21-0. What? Oh, wait a minute. 20. They scored again. It's 28-0. What's going on here? What's going on? And then Dan Campbell says after the game, you know, I loved our energy. You did, Coach? What? What'd you love about it? Follow-up question. Hey, follow-up question here. You know, just got Michael Holley, NBC Sports. I said follow-up question. It's got a follow-up question. What'd you love about the energy when you're down 28-0? Anyway, I believed in it. But you started that fight. You didn't finish it. You started it and finished it. Who was fighting with you? When they start fighting? On Thursday? When they start fighting?
They started the week going into the game. Lions fan, and look, this is the thing. I was rooting for the Lions this season, and I'm not going to say I'm not rooting for the Lions because, you know, when you have a franchise like the Lions who is essentially been a poverty franchise. Let's be real here, right? They just don't know what it's like to have winning accomplishments. I was rooting for them to do well. And then this week came and I saw so many Lions fans, Holley, talk so much trash. I was like, what did the Ravens do to the Lions fans? I'm confused. We're not even in the same conference. So I don't know, like, they were very sassy all week, very, very sassy. And all they kept saying was, all you got to do is get Lamar to throw. Oh, this is easy. They winning by 10. Oh, it took Justin Tucker to kick a 66-yard field goal to beat them the last time. Absolutely forgetting the fact that Marquise Brown dropped 3 touchdown passes in that game. And so it is what it is. So once they got sassy, Holley, I decided I was going to get sassy back. And when they got up big, it was my time to shine. And that's exactly what I did. You listen, we were rooting for you all until you got cute, until you thought this blue wave thing thing was going to be a thing where you brought your little blue jerseys to M&T Bank Stadium and you got skull dragged, you got shellacked at the bank, okay? So maybe you can humble yourselves a little bit and maybe we'll root for you again. But as of right now, the Flockers are off the Detroit Lions bandwagon because y'all don't know how to act now that you were 5-1 coming into this game. And the national media too, because nobody picked the Ravens.
Well,
I saw
guilty.
it. So
Guilty as charged. Now, listen, you bring up some excellent points. Reeta. And to keep up with the relationship analogy, now listen, I'm not regretting the marriage.
But you're definitely thinking about it. You thinking you made the right decision, aren't you? Tell us the truth.
Hey, we just got married last week. Last week, we made it official. It wasn't like, because before it was just a little cute thing. You know how it is. You have your little crush. It's a little cute. Ain't no accountability. Oh, that's my crush. Oh, he cute, she cute. You know the whole thing. There's no accountability, no responsibility. You see him every now and then. It's fine. Now, when y'all move in together, it's a different level. Now y'all really go, hey, you gonna make it government? We became government official last week, Detroit. We became government official last week. And what Reeta Hubbard says is absolutely true. See, I didn't notice about you. When you move in with somebody, you get married, you find out some habits. Some things you find out, you're pleasantly surprised by. Other things, not so much. Now, Detroit, I wouldn't have guessed Detroit. You haven't won a playoff game. You won one playoff game since 1957. You've never been to a Super Bowl. Never been to a Super Bowl. Haven't won your division in 30 years. Over 30 years. Okay? I would never guess that you lack humility. What? The Detroit Lions lack humility? That should be a given. That's something that's an automatic. 1957, I said, y'all, 1957. Hey, like they've never been to a Super Bowl? Ever? They've been doing the Super Bowl for a long time.
Nope.
Like before I was born. They've been doing the Super Bowl for a long time. You never been and you're not humble? What's wrong with that? I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So now,
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't understand the logic behind that. I understand being excited about your team, and I am all for people being excited about their team, but I just never seen so much trash talking from a non-divisional opponent in my life. And I was just like, wow, what's going on here? Like, can we act like we've been here, but it's hard to act somewhere where you've never been. So that's where we are.
That's right. So now tell me this. All right, we've talked about historical losers, Detroit's historical losers, but in this marriage, you're going to another level. I still believe I'm going to see them in Vegas. They're going to be in Vegas, representing the NFC. And maybe it's a rematch against the Ravens. I do want to talk about the Ravens here because we talked about Detroit. But Baltimore, I've been following them this year, and they just confused me. I'm not really sure. I saw Pittsburgh just steal a game from them, just literally take a game that they dominated. They lose that game in Heinz Field. It was just the strangest thing I've seen. But this Ravens team that I saw yesterday, they look like they're capable of winning a championship. Tell me what you think the peak is of the Baltimore Ravens, Reeta. You're right in the backyard. And what are some of the soft spots that the Ravens need to clean up? I'm not talking about yesterday, just big picture, because yesterday there were no soft spots.
Right. I just really feel like the Ravens, what you saw yesterday is what a lot of people expected from this offense. And, I don't know if it's because preseason guys don't really play and, there were injuries that were going on, particularly on the offensive line, which I got to shout out the offensive line for what they did in terms of protecting Lamar and keeping him, being able to look downfield yesterday. But, whatever happened, they had a slow start and there's a lot of inconsistencies in that offense. Luckily for them, the defense has essentially been what's carried them through their good and their bad because they've had good games, right? They played really well against Cleveland, Cincinnati, and of course yesterday Detroit. But then you have the Steelers game, the Texans game, and the Colts game. Essentially, when they lost as well. So their defense has really held it down for them while they try to gel and try to figure things out. But I think a lot of people's expectations of what this offense was going to be was what they saw yesterday. The biggest question mark for the Ravens is, can they continuously play at the level that they played on offense yesterday? And I don't think that has anything to do with Lamar Jackson, because Lamar has played phenomenal football this year. And at times his teammates have let him down, his offensive line, as well as his receivers. But if they can find a way to be consistent, not even necessarily dominant the way that they were yesterday, but just be consistent on offense, this team is nasty. Coming into the game on Sunday, the Lions, I don't know if you care about this type of stuff, but the Lions were number 2 in the league in DVOA. The Ravens were 6th. And what was really keeping them down was their offense and their lack of consistency. So just imagine if they can just put 26, 7 points each game with that defense, which is one of the best in the National Football League. I really feel like that they are true Super Bowl contenders if that offense can continuously click.
I think you're right. Look, the way they were playing yesterday and Lamar Jackson, keeping him healthy. Look, and Lawrence Jackson has been talking about Lamar all year. He's like, Lamar's my MVP. Lamar's my MVP. He keeps saying that about Lamar. And you can see, yesterday, you can see why. I mean, the one play, Reeta, where it looks like he should have been sacked or stopped for a loss, something, he is able to escape and throw an easy touchdown pass. He's a fast guy who was not mentally sped up at all in that game. He was just so chill. He was so composed. It was just, I know it's not easy. He made it look easy.
He did.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what will happen with Baltimore if Lamar stays healthy. That's what some of the haters brought up when Lamar could have left Baltimore after last season. Had his little dispute. See, once again, relationships, you have disputes. And you can smooth it out. Nobody's talking about it anymore. But what are the haters?
Because money will always change everything. You and I know this, Holley, and everybody else. Money will make everything go away, as far as we know.
Well, a lot of it. It'll make a lot of it go away.
Most things can be settled with money, and that's what happened with Lamar and the Ravens.
But you have humbled us Detroit fans. And you've given us a good lesson, because you know what? You're right. Baltimore, why would Baltimore have beef with Detroit? Baltimore wouldn't. So we have to learn as we work our way up and learn how to be successful, learn how to carry ourselves as champions. We have to know who our allies are and who our enemies are. Baltimore is an ally. As a matter of fact, Cleveland is an ally.
I thought coming into the game, I thought that too.
Yeah. Cleveland's an ally. All these, your enemies are the people who have been talking about you in your division. Minnesota is an enemy. Chicago's your enemy. Green Bay's your enemy. That's here. Yep. It's territorial. You got to know. The rest of the country likes to see you. Your own division is hating on you. Okay, you just got to understand that. We got a long way to go. It's marriage. We have a beautiful marriage. It's going to be a beautiful marriage.
Are you sure here? Because I feel like the lipstick is coming off the pig. Are we sure? On
the air, publicly, I'll say yes, I'm sure. But let's talk offline. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.